from Campbell 12 edition, page 1112. This is the antigen. So we look again on the humoral, but this one is on humoral and cell-mediated immunity. Okay, we look at the APC, antigen presenting cell. So this APC is dendritic cells. Here is a dendritic cell. There's a pathogen here that can cause disease. And once the pathogen has been engulfed by the APC, then it will be digested in the APC and form antigen fragments as well as the MHC molecule. And then this MHC class 2 will present the antigen to the helper T cell. We have the helper T cell here. Take note, there's an accessory protein attached to the T helper cell. The accessory protein is CD4. But for TC cells, the accessory protein is CD8. That is to recognize, to distinguish between the helper T cells and cytotoxic T cell. Okay, so once it binds to the helper T cells, here number 2, then the T helper cells, once bind, it will secrete cytokines, same as the previous figure. It will secrete cytokines, and these cytokines may activate the B cells to trigger the humoral immunity or antibody-mediated immune system. So these B cells, you can take a look at the B cells on the surface, the receptors that look like Y-shape, look like antibody. And these B cells, once it activated, it will increase in sizes, form clones of effector cells, and then differentiate into plasma cells and memory B cells. Okay, so then plasma cells will secrete antibodies and form antigen-antibody complexes and will be eliminated. Or the helper T cells, okay, the clone of activated helper T cells may activate the cytotoxic T cells. If it activates the cytotoxic T cells, and cytotoxic T cells will also increase in sizes, form clones of cytotoxic T cells, and then it will tap on infected cells. But this one is cell-mediated immunity. So take note that humoral and cell-mediated immunity, there are different cells that are involved. For B cells, for humoral-mediated immunity, B cells, and the regulatory cells, which is T helper. But for cell-mediated immunity, there's cytotoxic T cell or TC cells with the regulatory cells, so helper T cells. Okay, so there are two important adaptive immunity or non-specific, which is humoral and cell-mediated. Activated helper, increase in size, divides by mitosis, and form clones of effector cells or T cells, T helper cells. And then T helper cells will also differentiate into memory T cells. And this effector or clone of T cells, T helper T cells here, okay, may secrete the cytokines. If it's activated, secrete cytokines, and then the cytokines activates the TC cells. Nampak tak? There are the TC cells here. And the T helper differentiate and release cytokines and act on other T cells like the T cytotoxic. So these T cytotoxic cells are activated by foreign antigen MHC complex displayed by the infected cells. So the infected cells here. So kat luar ni ada antigen MHC complex as well. Okay. And then TC cells form clones. Macam biasa, TC cells dia increase in size and then form clones of effector cells and migrate to tissues. Straight away migrate to tissues. And what they do, they have chemicals. For TC, the modes of action is a bit different because they have perforins, release perforins straight away and destroy the infected cells. This is actually programmed cell death, apoptosis. So normally TC cells and natural killer cells to destroy the tumor cells, the medium of action is by apoptosis or programmed cell death because they have enzymes known as granzymes, and there's a perforins to make a pore so that granzymes can destroy all the infected cells.